for Seniors, episode 12. It is June 15th, 2020. My co-hosts, Hewie, say hello.
Hi.
Bob, say hello.
Hello.
There you go. And today we have a guest on the show, Michael Daniels, and he'll be saying hello, and I'll be introducing Michael a little bit later on. So welcome everybody to another action-packed hour. We have so much to go through now. We're going to have to keep on schedule. I'm going to do a little chat in the at the beginning, and then we'll go on, and Bob will give his security update, and then Hewie, and then Michael Daniels is going to take over and do about 20 minutes in the show, and then we'll wrap it up with some question and answers. So it should be a lot of fun. I'm excited about it, and let's get on. Now, I did a poll this week. I did a poll just to find out how many of you went out for dinner this week. And I wanted to tell everybody, I hope everyone had a great week. I had a wonderful week, and I wanted to share what happened this week with everyone just to let you know how things went. Now, let me just share my screen. Great. Can everyone see my screen? So yes. This was, so my wife and I went out for dinner on Saturday. We took another couple out for dinner who looked after our house while we were down in Arizona. And so we really owed them a nice dinner, and we decided to go out to a very nice restaurant here, and we took them out, and this was my seafood bouillabaisse I had, which was just great. I think besides getting my hair cut last week, which I told everybody about, this really sort of got through the whole COVID thing, and I felt a bit more normal. And so that's why I wanted to find out how everyone was doing all over the place. And it looks as though, according to our poll, about 30% of you have been out for dinner, 70% are still hunkered down. So that's, anyway, hopefully things will start opening up for everybody and you can start to get out. The next thing that happened was one of my favorite days is Wednesday. And I had such a great Wednesday last week. And let me tell you what I did. The first thing that happened was on 9 o'clock on Wednesday, Bill James gave an outstanding talk with APCUG on getting to know Windows from an insider's point of view, and this is the settings session 2. So for those of you who don't know, APCUG is putting on a series of programs the second Wednesday of each month. This is Bill's second one. He did one on Windows 10, and this one he did was the settings on Windows 10, and these are 2-hour episodes that have been taped, and they're actually on YouTube. I'll put the links in the settings, and we'll show you that. And they're going to do this all summer, and so it's great, and they're 2 hours. You could, if you have a computer club, you could chop it up and do an hour. So right now you have 4 hours of video that you can use for your club. So it's just great. So well done, Bill. I look forward to your next one in another month. For those of you who want to see Tech for Seniors, we have I'll put the link in the show notes, but they are all here. They're all on YouTube. They're all categorized. And if you come down and like we take last week, this is Tech for Seniors last week.
In the Exum mail trend.
We'll just turn Bob off here for a second. What I want you to come down here, and if you look at the show more, if you click this, it will bring up a whole bunch of information here. I will put in the notes down here. I'm going to put all the videos and stuff that we talk about, and I also put what we call a time chapter. So if you come up to YouTube here, and if you hover on this little line, as you play your YouTube video, you will see you'll see exactly what we're talking about, and you can jump to those sections. So here's the introduction, here's the new articles, here is security update by Bob. So just by running your cursor along, you can see all the chapters we have in the show. And I put them all here in the link, and there'll be lots of links today because we're going to talk about a bunch of different things. But this is so you can find them all, and I'll put the link in there for you. Now, the second thing that was lots of fun was at 1 o'clock there is Steve Dotto's show, which is an excellent show, and he talked this week. He talked on the gig economy, and this was just great. And I'm going to put some links in the show for you, but about the gig economy. And I would really recommend that you watch this video. Many of you, I had no idea this existed, and if you want to jot something down and have a look at it, you should go to a site called Upwork, and that's a website. And it talks about the gig economy and jobs and how it's really interesting. Anyway, I'll put the links in there for you. So that was interesting. And in that in his article, he talks about the gig economy, and there was a fella that he had on as the keynote speaker, and his name was Winton Churchill, not Winston Churchill, but Winton Churchill, and he has a consulting business called Barefoot Consultants, and he actually helps you if you want to start working in the gig economy. He has he's an international speaker and has a whole program on joining the gig economy. So it was really interesting. So Steve Dotto was very interesting. And then right after Steve Dotto, there was at 2 o'clock, guess what? There's a very famous show on, and it's called Tinkering with Tech. And Michael had Peggy Kay on this week, and she talked about the new blogger. And then I got to go to he'll probably talk about the backstage pass, and I got to go afterwards and talk to her about some technical issues on YouTube. So that was 4 hours. My butt was sore because I sat and was on the computer for 4 hours all Wednesday, but I had a great time. So that was my Oh, and the other thing I did this week was I produced a new video, which some of you have already seen. Talking about security for seniors and how to prevent senior scams. And I sent that out to everybody as well. Anyway, that's that. I had a great week, and I'm going to put some of this stuff in the show notes that you'll be able to access. And I'm going to turn it over to Hewie because it's Hewie time.
All right, I need to share the screen.
I'm just going to stop share. There you go.
And whoops, it moved. There we go. And I need to share my sound. And this shouldn't be there, but I gotta click here. And I want to play this, and then I have a short 30-second advertisement for me, and then we'll go from there. So let's kind of take a look at this. It kind of will explain everything about it. The Starlink report. What's it called? The Starlink report. Ah. Okay, I have been talking about Starlink in several discussion groups I've been in. I talk about it here. I've talked about it at Tech for Seniors, and I've talked about it on with some of the groups, and I talked about it when we talk about cutting the cord. And this is what they're going to look like, or what they do look like. There are already a lot of them up there. This is how they send them up. There's 60 to a batch, so there's 60 of them right there, and then as they release them, they expand with the antennas. So less mass, more compact. Each satellite weighs approximately 260 kilograms. It's about 570 pounds, and features a compact flat panel design that minimizes volume, allowing for a dense launch stack to take full advantage of the launch capabilities of SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket. The antennas, with 4 powerful phased array antennas on each satellite and an enormous amount of throughput, can be placed and redirected in a short time for an order of magnitude lower cost. The Starlink satellites feature a single solar array, significantly simplifying the system. Solar cells are standardized and easy to integrate into the manufacturing process. The ion propulsion systems, the Starlink satellites are equipped with efficient ion thrusters powered by krypton that enables the satellites to orbit, raise, maneuver in space, and deorbit at the end of their useful life. Starlink is the first krypton-propelled spacecraft ever flown. There's a star tracker, custom built-in house navigation sensors tell each satellite its altitude, which helps enable precision placement of the broadband throughput. And an autonomous collision avoidance. Somebody asked a question about this at one of my recent meetings. Starlink satellites utilize inputs from the Department of Defense's debris tracking system to autonomously perform maneuvers to avoid collisions with space debris and other spacecraft. This capability reduces human error, allowing for more reliable and approach to collision avoidance. This is the space before launch with the capsule at the top. And this is what it looks like before launch. Here is a list of all of the launches so far. And you'll notice at the bottom, the last 2, one of them was yesterday, and the next one scheduled is on June 22nd. Now, there's a lot of information on this, and you can come back to this chart. I also, it's on Wikipedia. But just to summarize, on June 4th, this is just some of the latest liftoffs. June 4th, they put up 60 satellites. One of the satellites, dubbed VisorSat, had a sunshade to reduce the impact on ground-based astronomical observations. In other words, to keep from having a lot of reflection for the telescopes that were trying to look at stars beyond. On June 13th, they put 58 satellites up there because they needed some more room, because they put 3 Planet Labs, SkyStats, 16 through 18 Earth observation satellites in place. And that was successful, and that was yesterday. Next week, additionally, 2 satellites, they're going to put 60 satellites up there, plus Black Sky Global 5 and 6, which will fly as rideshare payloads. All of the Starlink sats will be outfitted with the sunshade visor that was tested on a single sat on June 4th, on the June 4th liftoff. So they're going to put those on all of the new satellites that go up on the 22nd. Each of SpaceX's monthly launches of 60 internet beaming Starlink satellites carries 4,000 stripped-down Linux computers, SpaceX software engineers have revealed. The constellation has more than 30,000 Linux nodes and more than 6,000 microcontrollers in space right now. SpaceX updated its Starlink website 2 days ago on Friday to allow prospective customers to sign up for news and service availability announcements. This is all, there are some pictures, the pictures I showed earlier are on that site, but what you're basically doing is you go and you put email, your email address, your zip code, so that when it's ready in your area, they'll let you know what country you're in and submit it. You'll get an email saying they got it. And that's all there is. And so you'll be getting some announcements as these things get closer and closer. The company plans to launch a public beta of the satellite internet service by the end of the Northern Hemisphere's summer and has won approval to deploy 1 million end-user terminals here in the U.S. I grabbed this from another site. This is not from Starlink. This is from someone who thinks that they know the answers. The estimated launch will be mid-2020, but Elon Musk has twittered that they will go into a beta in the summer, and by November should be ready for a wide public beta, not a wide, but a public beta in the areas that are covered by the satellites that are already up there. And everyone has been asking how much is it going to cost, and there's been nothing on it. Somehow, where I found this slide, they have figured that the estimated cost is probably going to be around $80 a month, which isn't bad because I'm paying $75 right now for my service, and that's $150 up and $150 down using Fios or fiber optics. And the estimated equipment that you're going to have to buy is going to be between $100 and $300. And my understanding, somebody else on one of the podcasts that I was listening to, it's probably going to be a satellite dish about the size of a pizza. SpaceX recently applied to the Federal Communication Commission to launch 30,000 second-generation satellites over and above the 12,000 they've already been approved. Assuming the second-generation satellites carry the same number of Linux computers, it would mean SpaceX plans to send at least 2 million Linux computers into space in the next few years. It also means it's now sent 32,000 Linux computers to space for the existing constellation. We designed the system to use end-to-end encryption for our users' data to make breaking into a satellite or gateway less useful to an attacker who wants to intercept communications, wrote Matt Monson, SpaceX's director of satellite software. I put this in because I've had some questions, and how safe is this going to be? Well, obviously, they're trying to make it very safe for us. Every piece of hardware in our system, satellites, gateways, user terminals, is designed to only run software signed by us, by SpaceX, so that even if an attacker breaks in, they won't be able to gain a permanent foothold. SpaceX's Starlink satellite constellation is still deep into testing mode, but it's already generating 5 trillion bytes or 5 terabytes of data on a daily basis and getting software updates on a weekly basis. Not everything has gone right with Starlink software. We've had many instances where a satellite on orbit had a failure we'd never even conceived of before, but was able to keep itself safe long enough for us to debug it, figure out a fix or workaround, and push up a software update, Monson wrote. Monson said SpaceX usually updates the software on all of the satellites about once a week, with a bunch of smaller test deployments happening as well. Again, this has been the Starlink Report. The Starlink Report. And that is the Starlink Report. You're muted, Ron. Ron, you're muted.
Thanks, thanks, Hewie. Bob, are you ready to go? Unmute yourself. Bob's going to give us a security update now. Brief. Here we go.
Here is your cybersecurity news roundup for the week ending June 12th, 2020. A phishing attack hits German coronavirus task force. An email containing URLs that redirected the email recipient to a fake attacker-controlled Microsoft login page that's designed to steal user credentials. Once passwords had been inputted, they are then extrapolated to several different email accounts hosted on Russian email service Yandex. Never click on a link in an unexpected or questionable email. When in doubt, throw it out. In a recent public service announcement, the FBI warned that as the public increases its use of mobile banking apps, partially due to the increase of time spent at home, the FBI anticipates cyber actors will exploit these platforms. Americans are increasingly using their mobile devices to conduct banking activities, such as cashing checks and transferring funds. U.S. financial technology providers estimate more than 75% of Americans are now using mobile banking in some form. The advice is to obtain your apps only from trusted sources and start using two-factor authentication. Nintendo has revealed that an additional 140,000 accounts were hacked. This is on top of the 160,000 it acknowledged back in April and brings the total number of accounts hacked to 300,000. Change your password as soon as possible. Honda halts production due to cyber incident. Honda on Tuesday confirmed it had been hit by a cyber attack and said that some plants in Ohio were still offline, but that it had resumed production in most other plants. Some cybersecurity researchers believe the company was targeted by cybercriminals after they found evidence Monday of ransomware that had been customized to lock an internal Honda network until the victims paid for an encryption key. Be cautious. Ransomware seems to be everywhere. Keep your antivirus up to date and create backups on a regular basis. We all know that IoT security and privacy is a mess. A suggestion has been made for a privacy nutrition label at a recent IEEE Symposium on Security and Privacy. Researchers from Carnegie Mellon University presented a prototype security and privacy label. The risk assessment could be displayed on the product via a label, and additional information can be obtained via the web and via a QR code. We do this for our food and drugs. Why not to protect us from our smart devices? That's it for this week. Bye-bye. See you next week.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Bob. Great job. All right. This now gives me the opportunity to introduce Michael Daniels. As a certified product expert, let me see if I can just hold on a second here. Let me just.
While you're doing that, may I interrupt with the advertisement I forgot to include with my.
You can go right ahead.
I have a 7-year-old computer, and it's become a challenge to me to do all of these videos and a lot of the training I'm doing, and I need a new computer. I live on my Social Security, and so I've set up a GoFundMe. I just put a link in the notes if you can afford it and would like to send anything from $5. We've had, and I've had some donations as much as $100. Anything would help, and I would appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, let me introduce Michael Daniels. Michael Daniels is a Google product expert since 2015. Michael has helped thousands of individual educators and business owners use and understand the growing Google product field. Michael uses production streaming software such as, but not limited to, OBS, Voicemeeter, Zoom, StreamYard, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, Restream, and Elgato. All of this is done live while hosting the full panel of contestants and an online audience. As an early adopter of live streaming since 2012, Michael has grown a following for his help videos on YouTube and uses a suite of hardware and software products to produce an online game show seen by viewers worldwide, all from his home studio. His ability to manage an hour-long live production by himself rivals that of high-end productions seen on television, each week to create what many would call a first-class show. When Michael is not managing the family business finances, and personal, he spends much of his time sharing his love of technology with his online communities. Michael has a passion for technology and helping others grasp the often difficult concept of the tech world, including software and hardware. He is a true expert and a great guy. So, Michael, do you want to share your screen and take over?
Yes, I will do that in just a second. I want to say thank you very much. Oh my gosh, that made me sound really good. I don't know that I'm that good. I really hope I can hold up to all that. That's amazing. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. I'm glad to be here. You guys know, you guys have joined my community, you and Hewie personally, and I love helping people. Always have loved helping people. Every job I've ever had, I've been a trainer or something to that effect. So I'm going to do that today. I'm going to show you a little bit about our site that we have out there, public and private. And then I'm also going to show you actually a couple of tips to kind of show what we do daily. I do a daily tip, or members in our community do a daily tip. So I'm going to kind of walk you through all that. And interrupt me. I mean, I don't mind being interrupted. I'm used to it. And it helps my headset, right? As you guys know. So here we go. Let me share my screen. Okay, so you should be seeing my screen right here. This is the private, the public Tinkering with Tech website, and it's just
we do.
Okay, perfect. Tinkeringwithtech.net is what it is. Tinkeringwithtech.net, and you can come here, and it kind of tells you a little bit about me and Heather Crafter. She's my partner in crime in Tinkering with Tech. And I just created this video. This is interesting video right here. I just did this Saturday in one of our workshops where Hewie and Ron were there, and they watched me from beginning to end. Actually, Chris and Jim are out there too, and they were there too, but they're also
stay for the whole thing.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. So, but I showed them how I actually created video. I did everything, the voiceover, all that kind of stuff. So that was kind of cool. And then it just tells you a little bit more about our community. That I always have the last video or the next video for whatever guest I'm going to have on the show. Daily tips. This is just the public one, and then the button to click and join. And then members can click up here in this tab, and you can become a member and join here. And then, why join? I have all that, and it gives you some of those things. I'll quickly show you what that video that I just created. This is our private community. We have a private community section right here where we have a weekly schedule where I do a daily tip. We have a calendar. We have a VIP pass, so you can come in and join the after show whenever we have a show. So past shows is right up here. So anytime we have a show, we always save a little bit of time afterward where you can come in and talk to the guests we had. As you can see, Blogger, they were there. And then the week before that, we actually had Geeks on tour, and they did some Google Photo stuff. So, and then we have workshops, every listed workshop of every single thing and what we talk about and do. And we do that once a month. Lately with COVID, I've been doing a lot more than that. So anyway, all right. So now let's get into, I can close all that. I'm going to show you, let's get into a tip. So what I'm going to show you is, this is one of the tips that I did on Chrome Remote Desktop. If you've never heard of it, most people use a Chrome browser. It's pretty stinking awesome. It does a lot of stuff, and it works really well. But a lot of times I have a work computer that we leave on all the time, and I want to access that. And I just want to get on there and use it. And one thing about Chrome Remote Desktop, you can do it on mobile. I can actually run my computer from my phone. Or if I had an iPad, which I don't, anybody that knows me knows I don't have apples. I love apples the fruit, but that's as far as it goes. I don't do anything further with that. So, anyway, so we have right here, so I can access my work computer. This is really helpful and useful. But one thing is really cool too, if you just need like support, like quickly, You can get support, generate a code, and give that to somebody. They can come on and actually help you and guide you and run your computer. You can give support the same way. You would enter that access code and then connect, and then they allow you to come on. So that's a really excellent way. Here's what I like about this, though. Here's why I like this. I need to interrupt myself, and here's why. Is you get a chance to help somebody on it doesn't matter what platform it is, it works from. Because it's using Chrome, you can actually go to an Apple machine, a Windows Surface machine, anything where you can pull up a Chrome browser. Okay. So if an iPad can bring up a Chrome browser, then you have the opportunity to do the same thing. If an iPad cannot bring up a Chrome browser, then you wouldn't be able to do that. So that's one thing that's kind of nice too. It doesn't really matter which one you use. So, and then the remote access. So I'm going to show you really quickly. This is kind of cool. I can go to the office. I'm going to show you my work computer. So try not to steal all the information if you can help it. Because I am going to reveal that, but I'm going to show you at a distance. One thing that's really cool is I have two monitors at work. So both monitors come up. I have our QuickBooks, and then I have a Chrome browser on the other side. So I immediately, it was that quick. I am logged in and on that other computer that quick. I personally right now have 5 monitors. Okay. So I have 5 monitors at home. If they were to if I was at work and wanted to look at my home computer, it would show all 5 monitors right here. It's really kind of convenient and nice. And I can single this out and I can go to just one of those monitors. You saw me switch right there. It's this quick. When I'm done, I just exit out. It's that simple and that quick. That's the tip for Chrome Remote Desktop. Now, listen, I did that really, really quick, okay? And I know that, okay? And a lot of people are probably going, oh my God, how did he do that? Where was he? And I get that. I would definitely slow this down, but also, and Ron and Hewie can testify to this, I want you to ask questions. I already know how to do it. So a lot of times those guys are just giving me input. Hey, hold on a second. How did you get there? How'd you log into that account? How did you get there? So I would slow this down on a daily tip. The other thing is a lot of times I'll end the daily tip and we'll continue on talking more about whatever that is. The whole idea is I got a bunch of stuff up in this head, not any hair anyway, no more hair anymore, but I got a bunch of stuff up in my head and I just want to give that out. I just try to give and that's what I do. And that's what I do with this private community as well. Now I'm going to show you the second tip. I'm going to go to that real quick. I guess I'm doing okay time-wise.
Yeah, lots of time. Yeah, lots of time.
I am good on time. Okay, good. I'm going to show you now. This is the technology. Now, Ron mentioned that I use all kinds of stuff. I'm going to use I'm using Zoom. Obviously, I'm in Zoom, but I'm going to use OBS. OBS is open broadcast software. It's free. It's so I can do this. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to go to my bottom. I'm going to go to my table camera. I have a camera, my cell phone. And there, I just switched over. Now my cell phone is right here. You can see my hand. I can do stuff like this. I can have second cameras. Actually I have 4 cameras, but probably too many. Anyway, but I can do stuff like this. One thing, this is Google Keep. If you've never heard of Google Keep, it's kind of like Evernote, but it's also, anybody that knows me as well is I'm a Google guy. So I use Google products and Google Keep is one of those things. I know I was on Chris and Jim, the Geeks on Tour, who are in here as well. I was on their show and I think we talked about Keep one time. I can't remember, but I think, oh, look, someone just subscribed to me. See, that's another cool thing that I can do by having OBS. You can see. Thank you, David Williams, for subscribing. We could spend all day just sitting there watching those. No, just kidding. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. But anyway, so you can see here, so I have this. And what I want to do is really quickly, this is one thing that, because it's Google and Google search, I can click here and right here's images. This is pretty awesome. I'm just going to show you a daily tip that I did one time that I think is extremely special. Now, we have a TV in our house, and I wasn't sure I needed to get the serial number. Somebody was asking me a question. They needed to get the serial number off of that TV or whatever it was. And I'm going to kind of zoom in a little bit so you can kind of see that. But I couldn't reach it. So what I did is I used Google Keep, and I took a picture, because Google Keep will take a picture. And once I had that picture and I took that picture, I then clicked on the picture. There's 3 dots in the top right. When I clicked on that, I grabbed the image text. So that Google took that image, grabbed the text from it. I could give the serial number, model number, anything they wanted, because by me doing that, what happens is, if I'm back here, oops, let me go back here. Okay. Now there you can see there's the model code, all the different numbers. It had every single number that was on that sticker, and that helped me out. That's Google Keep. And these are the kind of things in the different tips. And here I'll just transition back so it kind of looks cool. This is cool stuff. That's why I like doing this kind of stuff. This is fun tech. Those are the tips that I wanted to share with you today. I love doing these kind of tips. I love helping people with this kind of stuff. I would love to have you join the community. It'd be amazing. I really appreciate, and I may be cutting it short, but we can keep on moving or whatever. But I just wanted to show those 2 tips. The other thing that's really nice too, I think, is that anytime that I do a tip, this is another tip, and you guys probably already know this, but I wanted to at least share it and show it, so that way you could at least see what I'm talking about. On these daily tips, one thing that I do is I keep them around for a long time. We're up to like 350 tips. And sometimes it's really awesome to be able to go and access, and you can say things like, I'm going to show you really quickly. Let me do a screen share again real quick. Man, you know, Michael taught us something. It was really kind of cool, but I can't remember. I know it was a daily tip, but I can't remember where it is or what it is. And this may be a tip for you guys that it's really kind of cool. So for example, I can hit Control F and I can find anything on this page. So if I type in keep, it's showing me there's 4 instances. What's cool about this, I can hit the down arrow and it should take me, there you go. There's 4 of them, and there, you can see the one that I just demoed for you, Google Keep Grab Image Text. You can find any of these tips that quickly, anytime. So like I said, I love doing this stuff. I love helping and teaching and showing, and I hope that was very informative and helpful to you. That's all.
Thanks, Michael. We're going to have Michael will be staying on, and he'll be answering any questions for you. Right now, we get a lot of questions coming in. You email us, and we had some great questions this week. Hewie, do you want, Roberta sent in a question, which was a great question. Did you want to, I know I've got Hewie and Dewey. Now, come on, you guys. I got the Hewie, Dewey.
Where's Louie? Where's Louie?
And Louie, you know, Hewie, Dewey, Louie. So we got to keep it short, but I know that Dewey probably has a few words to say. Dewey, you got to do a few words. And Hewie will, so can we, Hewie, do you want to start?
Okay, let me just share my screen quickly. I got a couple of, I jotted some notes down, and I will send them to Roberta if she wants them. But hang on here. There we go. And I got the wrong thing. Wonderful. All right. That was the wrong article. Anyway, I've got a list of some weather sites. She was having a problem when her TV goes out. She has a satellite. When the TV goes out, she can't, it's all in here. There we go. She can't get the local weather, and she had a big storm the other day, and she wanted to know if it was, how close it was and what was going on. So what I did was I jotted some notes down, and I found the best weather apps for storm tracking. One is called Storm by Weather Underground, and I couldn't find a Storm by Weather Underground, but Weather Underground is a free app and website, and it's wunderground.com. And then another one that I just recently saw talked about on one of the podcast or videocast, or one of the things I was watching anyway, they talked about radarscope.app. It is $10 for iOS or Android. It's $30 for a Mac or a PC, and it gives some lots of radar and pictures of what's happening right now. So that's another one to look at. Dark Sky was one that I used to use a lot, and Apple just recently bought them, and so they have taken off the market the Android version. So you can only use it on an iOS device, but it is another program that's very good. So I don't know what phone you use or what tablet you use, but if it is an iOS, if it's an iPad or an iPhone, Dark Sky would be another one. Then my other two suggestions would be something called TuneIn and iHeartRadio. And iHeartRadio, one of the stations, she's in the Orlando area, one of the stations I like to listen to through iHeart is WDBO, because they have some really good newscasts. And when there is a storm, they usually pick up WFTV and Tom Terry and his weather. So if you can at least listen to it on the radio, because they usually simulcast when there's a big storm in your area. The other one is called TuneIn, and I subscribe to it as well. And let's see, I think I've got a picture of it. TuneIn allows you to listen to podcasts, but also radio stations, again, all over the country, and listen to them live. When I say live, it's about 15 seconds delay, because it's got to go up to the satellites and come back down again, or wherever it's got to go. So that's another one to look at. And then also my other suggestion to you would be WFTV, which is probably the station you like to look at, because they are really up on whenever there's storms. You can stream them live on your of any of your devices. If it doesn't meet your satisfaction, Tom Terry is always very receptive. I'd send him an email and say, what do I do when there's a storm and my satellite is out? That's my advice for her from me, and I'll turn it over to Dewey.
Thanks a lot, Hewie. Can everyone hear me, I hope? Well, anyway, as I understand it, Roberta is asking if there's a way for her to watch local live TV on her smartphone any time of the day or night she needs or wishes to do it. Well, the answer for Roberta is yes, there is a way to receive local TV stations on your smartphone, tablet, or computer, but unfortunately, it's not free. And I'll cover how to do this in a moment after I explain that. Local TV, when it's broadcast over the air, of course, is free, paid for by advertisers. It generally is not free, however, when it's broadcast over the internet, which is how Roberta would be receiving it on her smartphone. Advertising and network contractual agreements typically don't allow stations to broadcast free continuously 24/7. However, many local TV stations do offer live coverage over the internet of their, 3 or 4 times daily newscasts, and this would be available. Unfortunately, it's a problem for Roberta if a tornado or hurricane passes by at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, getting back to the way that Roberta can watch her local TV broadcasts on her phone on demand, as I said, which means anytime she needs or wants to, is to subscribe to one of the popular TV streaming services that also carry local network programming. In nearly every TV market area, stations that provide the fullest coverage of news, weather, and sports are also local stations, network stations, affiliated with the ABC, CBS, Fox, and NBC national networks. In nearly every TV market area, stations that provide the fullest coverage, well, I guess I said that. Currently, there are only 2 streaming services that carry all of the subscribers' local stations with these 4 national networks. And these are YouTube TV at $50 a month and Hulu with live TV at $55 a month. Both YouTube TV and the Hulu with live TV offer about 75 channels many of which, in fact, nearly all of which, are the very same stations offered on satellite and cable TV by those subscriptions to those satellite and cable TV. Roberta is currently a satellite TV subscriber and likely pays around $100 a month. In my opinion, it's practically a no-brainer to switch from satellite TV to a streaming service at around half the cost. And of course, she can watch the stream channels on her TV as well as on her phone by simply purchasing a streaming device like a Roku or an Amazon Fire TV stick. And these cost somewhere in the $40 to $50 price range. I wrote and presented a paper at Silveridge to our Silveridge Computer and Technology Club on the subject of streaming TV. Did this several months ago, and I'd be happy to send a copy of the paper to anyone interested. If you are interested, just send me an email to my address, which is deweyclose@gmail.com. And Dewey Close is spelled DEWEYKLOOS. DEWEYKLOOS. 10 letters at gmail.com. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Hewie and Dewey. So I hope Roberta got there's some excellent suggestions there from our panel. Thanks a lot. And
we had tornadoes flying by for 3 hours.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So if
Can
you
I make a comment?
Sure.
Dewey, I use YouTube TV streaming and I love it, except I have 2 homes and you have to establish one area for the local channels. Unless you get a second account, you can only have those local channels on your one account. So when I'm at my other house, I don't have the local channels there.
You are correct about that. However, you are allowed 90 days. And so I suppose the other way to do it would be to cancel after, cancel the one when you go to your other home and start a new account. And that way you can have the locals there.
It's okay. I can get it some other way, but I love YouTube TV is all I want to say. I'm so glad I switched.
I certainly agree with you.
Yes.
I
want to make a comment. I have a motorhome and we have 2 accounts, and we actually bought 2 Rokus, one for the motorhome and one for our house, and it's the slickest thing. Dewey guided me and babysit me and got me to the right thing.
Great. Thanks. Now, if you have questions, please email the questions to either Hewie or myself, and we'll be happy to research them and present them on the show. And we have a bunch more questions. We don't have time today to do that. I really wanted everyone, we have Michael Daniels with us, and he truly is an expert. Like, you want to know anything about anything in Google, Michael is the guy to ask. So come on, you guys, ask him a tough question. I want you to stump him. I want to hear Michael say, I don't know the answer to that, okay? So unmute yourself and fire away at Michael. Let's put him under the spotlight here.
Michael, I have a question. Gmail on a PC is so powerful, and yet Gmail on a phone, Android phone, just is lacking several features like group emails and things. When would the Gmail on an Android device be upgraded to at least be as good as the PC version?
That's an awesome point and an awesome comment, because I 100% agree with you. 2 things. You can send a group Gmail if you go to your contacts. If you go to contacts, select a group, and then send a Gmail, it will do it that way. It's a workaround. I understand that. And trust me, the other thing is too, is you can turn it on to, you turn your cell phone, go into Chrome, go into desktop mode, go into Gmail, and it's just as if you're looking at your Gmail on your desktop. So it's very small. It's very small, and you have to click. I mean, I get it, but I agree with you. And here's what I would say, and I tell everybody, you can hear people in my community, I say this all the time. Send feedback. In the app, send feedback. Say, we really need this. This is important. Because what they do is Google gets millions of responses and feedback, but they're also a search. They can search their own feedback. And what it starts to do is it starts to build a lot of requests for the same thing. And that's usually where they go and they say, okay, we need to do something about this. But I do agree with you.
Yeah.
I do, 100%. I agree with you. But it is a workaround that you can do.
Thanks.
Michael,
Yeah.
I have a question on Google Keep.
Yeah.
Sometimes I want to give a copy of whatever I put in one of the boxes on Google Keep. I want to give a copy of that to someone else. So right now I can screenshot it, but is there a quick way to just select that one box and print off that only?
That's a wonderful question. So there's two things that I'll give you there. One, since it's collaborative, you could just share that one box with them. All you have to do is just share that, then they have it. So they have that same note that you have, and it's collaborative. They can see it and use it. That's one option. The other thing you can do, since Gmail and Keep are all in the same family, if you have a Gmail account, I'm going to show my screen again real quick so you can kind of see something. This is pretty cool, and it's an awesome ability that I absolutely love. You should be able to see my screen probably about right now.
Yes.
Okay, so right here, if I'm in the middle and I know this person's email, I can click over here to Keep. I have along this right-hand side, this is like a show the side panel. I can click Keep, and I can drag that Keep. Like if I have one of those boxes and this is the box that you're talking about, this note, I can take that information and I can just copy paste it. Boom, it goes right into a Gmail just like that. I think did that answer or help you at all?
That helped a lot, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure that I have the Google Keep on the right-hand side of my email, so now I got to go look to find that.
Okay. Yep. Yeah. I think everyone has that feature now. I think it's all part of it. Just if you look down at hold on, I'll share my screen one more time really quickly, just so you can kind of get an idea. I know I go through this quickly, but I'm also trying to get as many questions in. Down at the bottom, there's like a little arrow. It says hide side panel. It might be hidden.
Yes. Yes.
So all you have to do is, if you hit that, and then it should be there. And if Keep's not there, I think Keep is automatic, but you can get add-ons too. You can add, I think, like Evernote and Trello and some of those. You can add those on there as well. Sure. So hopefully that helps you.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Oh, 100%. No problem.
And it will take Evernote too?
I think so. You can check.
I will. Thank you.
Who else? Looks like Roberta's waving her hand pretty heavy there. What you got, Roberta?
My phone went to sleep. I have the little, I don't know if you can see this or not. I have a little blue box that says mail, the icon. Where is it? And it says 11,500 emails. And then at the bottom, I have my mail. So how do I get rid of the 11,000 emails? I mean, this is nuts.
Well, that's $1 million. That's $1 million question right there. No.
But I have my mail down here on this icon.
Yeah.
And there's one up here, a blue box that says 11,000 emails, and I'm not. Yeah,
that's a common question. And one thing is the 11,000 with the blue M. It may be. It could be any. Box. Yeah, but it could be Yahoo Mail. It could be a bunch of different kind of emails. It could be anything. The red one down at the bottom is your Gmail, specific to Gmail.
The one at the top, when I open it, it says Google security alert. They're all security alerts. Then there's emails from July 19, April 9, 2019. It's really old.
Yeah, like I said, it may be a different account. It may be a totally different account than your Gmail, that little blue one. And you might even be able to, if you hold down on that blue icon with your finger, drag it up and take it out of there. Because you don't look at it anyway, right? I mean, you're not looking at it.
I don't
Yeah, so just drag it and take it out there. But you can also find out what account that is assigned to that. So if you can go into that inbox and you go to the settings, you can find out where is it. You might have an Outlook account that all those emails are coming in. You might have a Yahoo account that all those emails, like I have 3. I have AOL and Yahoo and Gmail, and I have all kinds actually. I have different ones. So that might be a totally different account, and that's what you would want to look at as that account.
Chris Guld just said that referred to Apple account.
Oh, okay. Apple Mail. There you go. Thank you, Chris. And Chris knows a heck of a lot too. Trust me.
Which I don't use. I don't use Apple Mail.
Okay, but you have an iPhone, correct?
Yeah.
That is an iPhone. So what she's saying is that is your inbox for Apple Mail. So what you would do is go into because you have an Apple phone and an iPhone and an account, just go in there and you can start eliminating those, et cetera, and that kind of thing.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, 100%. Yes, Chris has her hand. Hold on, Chris has her hand raised, and she'll get to you.
My question is in remote desktop. I haven't used that. I don't know that I have a real need, but my question is it just for Chrome browser, or if my Windows computer had Camtasia or the camera or something like that up on it, and I use remote desktop from my phone, will I be able to see that?
Okay, so yes, it'll show anything that's on your desktop, but they both have, just so I understand what you're saying, they both have to have, I don't know why there's so much echo, but they both have to have Chrome, right? They both have to have Chrome, and then
somebody has their mic on.
Yeah, somebody did. Yeah, somebody mute, please. Because we're getting the echo there. But anyway, so you want to know if you can see visibly everything that's on that desktop. That's what your question is, right? I would say yes. I'm almost positive it will, but I haven't tested this, so I can't give you an honest answer. But one thing that it does show is every icon and then everything down at the bottom. So I'm going to say yes. And I'll be glad to test that and get back to you because I know you specifically and get you that answer. So there you go.
I haven't played with that yet, so.
Great question.
Right.
It's not something we have a real need for, really.
Right.
Here, you have an office.
Right.
Our office is right here.
And I'd like to introduce everyone to Chris and Jim Guld. They, of course, have that really popular show. What's it called again, Chris?
You're muted.
You're muted. Unmute yourself. There you go. What's your show called again?
What does this button do?
There you go. There you go. If you haven't watched, that's the other favorite. Wednesdays are my favorite day, but also Sundays are my favorite day because I get to listen to their show. So thank you. Thank you for all the work you do. Michael, thank you for being here. Hey, you know what? It's 10 o'clock. Another hour has gone by. It's a sad time. We have to all sign off and say goodbye. But you know the good thing? We're all going to do it again next week. Are you going to be here next week, Hewie?
Absolutely.
Someone said I should change my name to Louie so we could have the Louie, Hewie, Dewey comedy hour or something like that. Who said that? Who said that? Someone I can't remember. Someone in the chat.
And
anyway,
where's Uncle Donald?
Yeah.
Hey, good job, all. Good job.
So listen. Thanks for everybody for coming. Thank you, Hewie, for being here. Thank you, Bob, for your security tip. We'll look forward again. Michael, thank you again very much for coming and sharing your community with us. Stay safe. Go out have a nice dinner. And we will see everybody back again in 1 week's time at the same location, right? The same location. We'll see everyone back here again.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining.
Thank you. Thank you very
Bye.
much. Thank you. Appreciate it.